with us just a little bit about her awesome self. Oh, we've got to clean up aisle 7 over there. I'm really sorry. It's okay. So she we're super excited to have her. She's super excited to be here. So without further ado, this is Miss Michaela.
Hi, my name is Michaela Marie McGuffey. I was asked by Professor Sam Lucas to speak to you today. Disability awareness is something that is very close to my heart. I'm sitting here in a wheelchair, so it's obvious that I have a disability. I've had a disability since I was born, so I'm kind of an expert at disability awareness. First of all, some disabilities are due to medical conditions. Others have learning disabilities. Some of you may be thinking to yourself, what's her disability? My medical condition is cerebral palsy, periventricular.
During this talk. Sorry, I wrote in something.
During this talk, I will refer to CP. The form of CP I have is perpendicular leukomalacia, spastic quadriplegia, cerebral palsy, also known as CP. The form of CP I have is leukomalacia, spastic quadriplegia, which affects all 4 of my limbs. About 2 to 3 out of every 1,000 individuals in the United States have CP. The National Institute for Neurological Disorders and Strokes describes CP as a group of neurological disorders that appear and they are early childhood and is permanently affected body movement and muscle coordination. CP is caused by brain damage, caused by damage to the brain of the developing brain that disrupts the brain's ability to control and maintain posture and balance. The term cerebral refers to the brain. Palsy refers to the loss or impairment of motor function. CP can affect many areas of the brain. Most common, it affects the motor area of the brain's outer layer called the cerebral cortex. This part of the brain tracks muscle movement. It does this by activating different emotions. When I get excited, my brain tells all of my muscle groups to tighten, and I could easily fall out of my chair if I was not belted in. I have straps to keep my feet in place so they don't fly out and greet you. I also call these my CP moments. It's okay to laugh. I sure do. This is why I don't get pedicures very often. I weighed 1 pound 11 ounces when I was born. My lungs were not fully developed and restricted oxygen to my brain. I had to stay in the hospital for 3.5 months. 3.5 months. I had my first surgery when I was 4 years old to put metal brackets in my hips. This helped my hip sockets form so my hips could go quickly. My second surgery was a tendon release. This released tension and my tendon so I could move better. My third surgery was to put metal rods in my back when I was in the 6th grade. This helped my scoliosis by strengthening my spine. My spine would grow straight. My fourth surgery, surgically implanted baclofen pump. This pump slowly releases medicine to relax my tight muscles. This pump needs to be refilled every 6 or 7 months. My fifth surgery was to create a channel that goes directly into my bladder using one of my small intestines. It's called a multi-metrophenol. This helps me urinate without help by using a catheter in which I insert in my belly button, also known as my stoma. I'm almost out of water. To make my bathrooms even more interesting, I have a spastic bladder. This makes me it makes me feel like I have to urine all the time. When it fathoms, it hurts like labor pains and causes me to have accidents quite often. I get Botox injected into my bladder every 3 months to help reduce the spasms. CP is fairly common in the world. You probably know some other people that have it besides me. For example, Micah Fowler, the actor who played J.J. Domino in the TV show Speechless, is one of the few actors with CP playing a character that has CP on primetime network television. He is also an ambassador for the Cerebral Palsy Foundation. He is also really cute. I also saw an online video featuring Mason Zayed. She is a comedian and a writer and an actress that appeared at a TEDx event doing an hilarious talk about her 99 problems, and palsy was just one of them. Now back to my 99 problems. You're probably wondering, how do you get CP? This can happen due to low oxygen or low blood flow to the brain. CP can happen during birth or after an accident such as head trauma that limits the oxygen to the brain. The real reason I am here today isn't to teach you about CP. It's to help you learn how to interact with people that have disabilities. Often, you may feel uncomfortable when you meet someone with a disability. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. Oftentimes, people with disabilities get judged like a book by its cover. Take the time and open the book of the cover to find out who is on the inside. You just might be surprised by who you find. Don't let the fear stop you from getting to know a person with a disability. The disability does not make the person. They are not the disability. They are people first that just happen to have different abilities. One thing I am very inspired by is God gives the hardest battle to his strongest soldiers. Hanging out with me can pose some challenges. I have trouble connecting with people my own age. Some of my friends don't take me out because they don't have the vehicle to accommodate my chair, or they don't have the strength to lift me. I'm also not very spontaneous. I have to plan my schedule out with my caregivers. In 2017, I graduated from Granite Hills High School, and in 2020, I completed the transition program from the GUHSD. This program teaches you about daily living skills, what to expect from the outside world, and how to handle adult situations you may encounter. One of my long-term goals is to become a motivational speaker and eventually start my own foundation that will give back to people with intellectual and physical disabilities. I want them to have the same resources to have new and exciting life experiences. I have a lot of people in my situation do not reach their full potential for many reasons, like family support, money challenges, and frankly, it's just too hard to take a special needs kid everywhere an able-bodied kid could go. I want kids to have the same opportunity I have had my whole life because of my awesome support system. Have you been to Yosemite to see El Capitan? El Capitan has a 3,000 foot face rock that is a challenge to most climbers. I have a friend, Stephen Wampler, who has spastic quadriplegia CP like me that climbed this face rock. It took him 6 days. There is a documentary called Wampler's Ascent. Stephen Okay, Stephen, where was I? Stephen Wampler and his wife Elizabeth are an interable couple that created the Wampler Foundation. They manage Camp Womp. This is a summer camp for kids with physical disabilities in the high Sierras of California. They don't focus on the disability. Their motto is about what you can do. They are a very inspirational couple. My goal of being a motivational speaker and creating a foundation are because of Stephen's influence on me. He lives by a motto, mind over matter, and I'm now doing the same. I would not be the person I am today without my loving parents, my sister Madison, and my teachers throughout my schooling, who have always been my advocate accepted me for me and who I am, and pushed me to be a better person. I'm currently in an interable relationship with a person named Jonathan. We met on Facebook dating last summer, and since then we have gone on many adventures like skydiving, ATVing, Mexico, surfing, and hanging out at SeaWorld. He has made me a hiking backpack that I sit in so we can go hiking as a couple. He doesn't see my wheelchair, and neither does his family. I like that they accept me for me. His brothers tease me like a sister and gave me the nickname McKK. I would like to encourage everyone here to get to know people with different abilities. It will change your life. I'm here to answer any questions you may have. No question is off limits.
Would you like to continue with the video for the question?
Yes,
Okay.
please,
All right.
if they can.
So I'd love to open it up now for you all to ask questions of Michaela, anything that sparked interest that she said that you'd like to know further or more about, so feel free.
Where did you skydive?
Like Elsinore. I think, right? I don't like Elsinore. He took me for my birthday. He asked me if I could do anything on my bucket list, what would it be? And I said skydiving, and I didn't think I did not think he would see it. Follow through with it, but I had fun. It was. I had the time of my life. It was something that I wanted to do again. She does not like it. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
How did, since you went skydiving and you mentioned that your excitement triggers some more of your contractions and whatnot, when you went skydiving, how was that with your body wise?
So when I did the free fall, I was like spasming. I didn't like this. So when you're skydiving, they do like the turns and like all this crazy stuff. I thought it was just gonna be the free fall, and like I was okay with that because I put my hand out like this, and I'm like, hey. But when they did the turns, I was like freaking out because my body was like spasming. It was like, and you're tandem to someone. So my tandem person happened to be familiar with disabilities, so it made it easier on me because knowing that I was safe. I mean, they do it every day, but knowing that I was safe with someone who is experienced with people like me made me have a better peace of mind, so yeah.
What are some other things you like to do in your free time?
Gosh, there's a lot. I like to,
More than you, I'm sure.
yeah, I like to go to the beach. The beach is one of my favorite places. SeaWorld, Mexico, the river, people to feel sorry for me, because I do everything that you guys do. It just may look a little different, but my boyfriend and family and his family are very good at fabricating stuff. Like, if I want to do it, they make it happen. Surfing, boogie boarding,
jet skiing, inner
jet
tubing.
skiing, inner tubing.
Lots of water stuff.
I love the water. So, the thing I love about the water is that when I'm in the water, like, I'm not constricted. And anyway, so my body is free, so I'm not really strapped into my chair, or I can't swim, so there's someone right there. But you know, I like the water because it makes me feel free. Yeah.
There was a gentleman who was on the screen and he chatted before he ended the session, something about a story where he locked you in the car.
I want to tell this story. So that's my son.
Okay.
And so when they first met, he calls me and he says, "Mom, can you send Matthew out to El Cajon, wherever they were?"
Matthew is his brother.
Right, Matthew's one of his brothers. So Matthew has to go home, get the keys to the truck, and go out there. So he had locked her in the truck. So Matthew shows up, my son, and he sees that somebody's in the truck, and he's like, "Why doesn't she?" Because we hadn't met her yet. He goes, "Why doesn't she just unlock the door?" And so, because Jonathan's sitting outside the truck in the wheelchair, texting with her. And so my son, Matthew, goes and he gives the keys to Jonathan, and he's like, "Okay, here, bye." And he goes, and he's driving home. He's like, "What was that? Like, why doesn't she just unlock the door?"
And so later, he explained, he goes, "She has a disability and carries the door lock." And he's like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, we're basically never gonna let that one down. And that happened quite a few times. Jonathan, it wasn't only Jonathan, it happened to my mom quite a few times. I was sitting in the car with my dog, and the dog stepped on what is it called? The lock thing, and and the keys were inside the car, so we had to call AAA. Oh.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, and then another situation was he's an EMT, and so he has to stop whenever he sees an accident. So one time he had to stop, and he left her in the truck again, and he goes to provide assistance.
No, because he asked me, he's like, "Do you mind?" Because my thing is he's not an EMT yet, but he's like going to school to be one. So anytime I'm with him and there's an accident, I'm like, "Go help."
But he is an EMT. He's not a firefighter yet. But so he leaves her in the car, and he goes to help, and all these people are bothering him, like around this person that he's trying to help. He's like, "Would somebody go help my girlfriend in the truck? She's disabled. I left her in the..."
No, because it was hot and I needed like air. I was like, because I wasn't expecting it to take so long. I was like, I need air. I'm dying in here. So, yeah. Yeah.
Do you use any adaptive technology when you're working with, like, if you're texting on your phone or using your iPad?
I use Siri a lot. In fact, I get mad at her because sometimes she does not listen to what I say. I'm like, "No, I didn't mean." It happened on the way here. No, sorry, when I was
I know, but he listen to it.
when I was texting Megan, my old physical therapist, I still keep in contact. So I was texting her. I'm getting ready to go in, and I had just like learned some new things about my CPA, so I was sharing that with her, and I was typing or trying to do speech to text, and it wasn't listening. So yeah. Any more questions?
Can you walk me through briefly what it looks like when you decide you want to go to the beach? Like what kind of has to happen for you to get from point A to point B? And is it annoying for you, or you're like, it's really not that bad?
It is annoying because there's a lot that goes involved. Like I said, my friends get they understand, but they get annoyed because a lot of them can just get up and go. I can't because I have 24-hour care. I can be left alone for a short period of time, but someone is always in and out checking on me. So if I decide to go to the beach last minute and my caregiver's not there yet, sometimes I'll call her and I'm like, hey, I'm going to the beach. But she's like, what? Because the state pays them to tell me, so they rely on that money for like an income for their families. So if I'm not there, they don't get paid. So I have to be considerate of them, which is kind of annoying because, I can't, like, for instance, me and Jonathan go up to the racetrack and we don't get home till 1 or 2 in the morning, and that can be frustrating at times because he'll call me up, like, we're not even planning to go to the racetrack. He'll call me up and he'll be like, hey, I'm going, you want to go? And I'm like, yes, I want to, but sometimes I can't because, caregiving and, but a lot of the time, they're pretty flexible, but I'm moving out on my own as of August 1st, so I'll be more tied down with the schedule, which can suck, but any more questions?
How often do you go to physical therapy, and what do you think has helped you best going to physical therapy?
So, when I was younger, I used to go a lot, but as an adult, your services start to change, like your insurance, everything's not through CCS, which is California Children's, I'm not saying this right, but California Children's Services, and you age out at 21, so I just aged now, at 21. So I don't really go as much as I used to, because my insurance is being a pain in the butt to deal with. I can't even get wheelchair repairs right now, and my power chair is falling apart, which is scary because I drive it and it's like drifting to one side. And I know what I'm doing, but my rims are like bald and they're like pulling it to one side or the other. So yeah.
Tell them about how COVID affected your PT.
COVID, that's the other thing. I was going to the gym in La Mesa, because they have a gym for adults, and regional center pays for my membership. Regional center is a service that provides services for children and adults, so they were paying for my service to go there, and then it closed down, so I couldn't really go, and so Amy took me to her church and we started walking, like 3 days? No.
Yeah, 3 days a week for like half an hour.
3 days a week for half an hour. So I'm really grateful for her help because for one, my mom works 20. She goes in at 9 and then comes home at like 5. So she works. My dad does the same. So they try, but it's really hard. But I'm thankful that they kind of adopted me as like their daughter. So yeah. Any more questions? Wait, where? Okay.
How do you handle outsiders looking in?
So,
Do you educate them, or how does that work?
what do you mean, like?
Like someone who doesn't know about your disability.
I educate them. I'm the kind of person that wants to. How do I say this? Instead of people staring at me, I want them to be like. I break the ice, and I go up to them and I approach them like, hey, how are you? And then I go, I have CP, and they're kind of shocked that I can talk, so, and I just want to educate because I feel like God put me on this earth for some reason, and I can't do a normal job, so if I can share my story with you guys, or, even high school students, that's what I'm gonna do, because it's something that I really am passionate about, and I live it every day. So if I can change someone's life by getting to know someone like me, I'm going to do it. So, yeah.
That's super admirable.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Michaela, can you share with them just a little bit more about the Mitrophanoff, the Monty Mitrophanoff, in case they have patients in the future that they can make a referral or recommendation? Kind of what was happening and then what caused you to go for that option?
Speaking of which, I have to use that.
Oh, okay.
So I can actually just show you that.
Which she said she doesn't mind just showing you how she changes that. It's her way of urinating.
Yeah.
Right?
Educating as well.
Educating and, yeah, so it's great for them because they can refer patients. My understanding is that it was getting very cumbersome having to go out and having to use the restroom all the time.
Well, cause I don't walk obviously. So, I don't walk obviously, and like a lot of my friends can't lift me, like I said in my speech. So I was having to wear a diaper all the time. Every time I wanted to go out, because I don't have Jonathan with me all the time. And before him, I was like, I don't, both of my friends are girls, so they can't lift me. So I'm like, I have to do something. So my friend Amber Lynn, and a couple other my friends, Amy, not this Amy, but another Amy, I started asking them like how they do it, because they don't need to be lifted or anything. So they do this, and basically what she's doing is she's finding my stoma that goes directly down to my bladder, and as you can see, pee is coming out.
This is not my favorite.
No. And normally I would do it, but I'm talking.
No problem. And it is say the name of it, please.
Monty Mitrophanoff.
Monty Mitrophanoff, so that you
And-
all know for referrals.
And how I got this referral was I started having bladder spasms, and my mom was getting really frustrated because she thought that I was doing it for attention. But then when we got we had to do tests for this operation just to make sure my bladder was healthy. Everything was good, so they did what's called a urodynamics test, where they make you like drink, well, not really drink, but they fill your bladder up with water. And it's not really water, but it's like something like water. So they fill it up and they see how much you can hold and what the bladder function is doing. Well, mine is it comes in waves, so it's like it goes up and down. That's what the monitor showed, and my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel really bad now because I thought you were just doing it for attention, and I didn't know, and we didn't know that was an actual thing." So I encourage you that you as physical therapist, if you notice that someone is peeing themselves a lot, they might be doing it for attention, but they might not be. So just have, if you notice that, talk to the parents and then be like, I think you're gonna have bladder spasms, and refer them to a urologist who can then get them the right test to figure it out, because believe me, it hurts. It hurts.
And you were mentioning like tummy muscle spasms, but it's of course the muscles around the bladder that were causing that abdominal discomfort.
I can't see you.
Oh, sorry, I'm coming forward.
Hold on. It's the tummy muscles around my bladder, but it's also my bladder
Itself, yeah, the bladder
itself.
muscle.
So, and sometimes, like in August, I have to get another Botox run, and normally, Jonathan goes with me, but he'll be out of town, which is fine. I've done it by myself before him, but I always like him there because he helps me calm my nerves down, and since COVID, I'm not even technically allowed to have someone back there, but I push for it. I'm like, no, if I don't, my anxiety is going to go through the roof, and you don't want to deal with a cranky person.
I love it. Advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You have many advocates, and you're an advocate for yourself.
Because sometimes the doctors won't listen to me, so my mom will be on the phone with me when I'm at the hospital, and she goes, no, she's more self-aware than you think, so just do yourself a favor, listen to her, or I'm gonna come down there and cause some ruckus, basically. She used other words, but yeah.
Any other questions you have for Michaela?
Can I ask about the tattoo? Is that a tattoo?
Which one?
Which one?
Okay. So I have depression, and I suffer from anxiety. So on my bad days, because everyone has bad days, on my bad days, I look at my tattoo, and I was like, I got this. I'm strong. I've beaten all the odds this far. So it's just a little reminder for myself to keep going.
What about the one on your leg?
And the one on my leg it's a wheelchair with the radio me because I'll be obviously not in this one because I can't push it myself, but I'll be down the road listening to music and going to the store and yeah.
Nice.
And this one, hold on, let me shoot. Amy, can you help? This one is for my deceased uncle who had MS, multiple sclerosis, who ended up being wheelchair bound, but he also had a stroke on top of it because he was a heavy smoker, but we don't know if that's what caused it or something else. So after his stroke, I was already close to him, but after the stroke, I was really close to him because he was nonverbal at that point. And my dad didn't want to go see him at the hospital because he didn't like. It's not because he didn't love him. He did. He just didn't like seeing his brother like that. But I'm the one that well, not really forced him, but I'm the one that asked him to take me down there so I could read a book to him or something. Because I know how it is when you're in the hospital, and I'm not nonverbal, but I know the struggle. So there are times when my dad didn't really want to go down there, but he would just wait in the car with me for me, and I would go in with my power chair, talk to the nurses, catch him up to speed on everything, and just hang out with him. I literally spent hours in his room, and he liked it because he was like, he couldn't tell, but I could tell by his face. He goes, now I finally get it, like, I finally know what you have to go through, like, I knew what you had to go through before, but it's almost like he had a higher respect for me, what I went through because of it, so, yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, great questions, guys. Michaela, you have such a talent for sharing your story. Thank you so much. Are you up for showing the group how you move in the gait trainer?
Yes.
All right. If anyone needs to use the restroom, feel free to jump over there and come on back.
Yeah.
We're going to get set up for that in the next couple